As seen on TV, products can be a blessing or a curse. So we've taken it upon ourselves to sift through the never-ending abyss of life-changing products to find out what's good and what's bad. Oh, and while we're at it, we'll show you how to make your own DIY versions of everything we cover. Welcome to Household Hacker. It's your didactic confidant, Dylan, here to kick things off with the Bacon Boss. The Bacon Boss aims to give you perfectly cooked and, most importantly, flat bacon directly from our good friend, Chef Mike, or as most people call him, the microwave. Inside the box, you'll find a glass lid with a locking handle, some instructions, and a base plate which internally sits at an angle to better channel any grease away from your delightful bounty. The process of using this product is fairly straightforward. Just pop open a bag of bacon and lay out as many strips that will fit on the base plate without covering the hole in the center. We manage 5 slices, but you could probably get more depending on the cut. When it's done, put the glass lid on and tighten it down to flatten everything out, and you're ready to hand it over to Chef Mike. Now, it's important to note that this only works in microwaves with a turntable inside, so don't go using it on one of your stationary machines. Now add 1 minute on the clock for each slice of bacon that you're cooking. So let's put 5 minutes up on the clock and let her rip. Keep in mind, thickness varies with bacon, so you may need to add a bit more time at the end if your final product doesn't look finished. Just keep an eye on things. Alright, time's up. Let's do this. Excuse me. The bacon will keep cooking a bit after you remove it, so let it sit for a minute and then pop off the lid. This came out pretty good and worked well. Just shift the bacon over to a plate, remove any excess grease, and enjoy your tasty treat. Now let's make our own, which is just as effective. You'll need 1 large plate and 2 smaller plates that can fit on top of it. The large plate will work as a grease catcher. The first small plate is where you lay out your bacon strips. Once you have your strips laid out, take the second small plate and put it right on top to flatten out the slices. Following the 1 minute per strip rule, put it in your microwave that has a turntable and give it a whirl. It's important to make sure that your plates are microwave safe, or this would be an incredibly bad idea. When it's done, you'll need some oven mitts or gloves to pull these plates out, because they're gonna be hot. However, the bacon will come out nice and crispy and amazingly tasty. Wow, look at all that grease the big plate caught. Glad I won't be ingesting that. Now let's throw things over to Scott and learn about slicing and dicing a pineapple.
Whether in stores or on TV, you've probably seen these pineapple decor and peeler tools, and with good reason, because they take a lot of the work and mess out of the tropical treat, peeling and coring and slicing an entire pineapple in just 30 seconds. Simply lay the pineapple on its side and cut off the top about 1/2 inch from the stem. Place the serrated part of the tool directly over the core of the pineapple and then press down. With one hand firmly holding the pineapple, twist the tool with your other hand many times until the serrated edge is near the bottom. Now continue to hold the pineapple as you use the handle to pull upwards. Juicy pineapple flesh will emerge without eyes or bits of peel attached, leaving the core in place. Now just release the handle by pinching the 2 buttons and flip the pineapple upside down and watch it slide right off the tool. You can serve it as is or slice down one side with a knife and spread it out on a plate. For added touch, remove the core from the shell and add a candle as a temporary decoration for added ambiance. There are tons of crazy ways to cut that mouth-watering piece of paradise, but let's be honest, all you really want is a quick way to breach its defenses and get down to that delicious and heavily guarded sweetness. So if you don't want to buy a specialized tool to do that, here's a quick and effective way to get in and get out with your bounty. Start by laying a pineapple on its side. Simply cut off the top and the bottom this time, about 1/2 inch from both ends. Now just stand the pineapple upright and cut it in half, straight down the center. You'll want to cut in half again in the opposite direction to cut the pineapple into quarters. This is the easiest way to get to the core and remove it by cutting off the 90-degree angles of the fruit. Now lay each piece flat and make 1/2 inch slices all the way down the pineapple until you reach the skin. Cut a few times down the center lengthwise until you reach the skin again. Take the edge of your knife and run it between the flesh and the skin to loosen up and remove all of the pieces. You're left with a bunch of bite-sized pieces that you can slide right into a container and serve as you wish. So basically, with just a knife, we remove the top, bottom, sides, and the core, and we're left with just little pieces of paradise. Honestly, both methods are pretty straightforward, and you can certainly do without the $6 tool, but it does deserve every bit of the 4.5 out of 5 stars it earned. It may just be another one-off tool to clog your utensil drawer, but if you eat a lot of pineapple, we suggest this utensil over many others.
Now, this one takes a bit of explanation. It's called the egg piercer. Now, before we embarked on this journey, I had no idea that piercing an egg before boiling it added any sort of benefit whatsoever. But apparently, it helps prevent eggs from cracking while boiling and makes them easier to peel. Let's test it out. You simply unlock the device, which allows a small needle to pop up and punch a tiny hole in the bottom of the egg. Seems simple enough, but as a precaution, I'll test this one while wearing a glove. Don't want them exploding on me if I do it wrong. So load them up one at a time. Give a firm push down and lift back up. This went fairly smooth without any cracking or mishaps. As you can see, the holes are tiny, but didn't cause any other damage to the egg. They're also small enough that nothing will leak out, so don't worry about that. When you're ready, go ahead and boil up your eggs. I like to add mine to cold water and let them sit until the water reaches its first boil. At that point, shut off the stovetop and put a lid on for 15 minutes. This usually gives you perfect hard-boiled eggs. Thanks, Rachel Ray. When that's all done, add your eggs to some cold water and let them chill out for a few minutes. You don't want to unpeel these things while they're piping hot. Once cool, pop one out, give it a crack with a spoon and peel away. Now, I've never been great at peeling eggs in the first place, and the tiny hole in the eggs didn't really make it any easier on me. In fact, I still managed to mangle them despite my best efforts. All said and done, the eggs came out good with no cracks or leaks during the boiling process, so I suppose that's beneficial if you make a lot of hard-boiled eggs. Now let me show you how to do this yourself in about 1 minute. Grab an empty egg carton and slice off the lid and any other extra pieces. Cut it so you have 4 egg pockets from the carton remaining. Now you just need some thumbtacks. Push a thumbtack into the bottom center of each pocket and then flip it back over. It should stand up on its own while using the tacks almost as table legs. Here's a quick test just to make sure this will even function as intended. Just a little push and pull and we have a nice little hole in the bottom. I went ahead and tried it 4 more times just to make sure I didn't get lucky. It worked just fine. No mess, no egg yolk everywhere, just simple little holes to make your boiling easier. So if you're feeling extravagant, give it a shove.
The Potato Express is a microwave potato cooker that claims to make perfect potatoes in the microwave in just 4 minutes. The packaging claims that the pouch is great for all types of potatoes and even works with corn on the cob, day-old bread, and much more. But today, we're going to focus on potatoes. Included is a mini recipe booklet with instructions that claims to hold up to 4 potatoes, but it really only fits 3 large russet potatoes. The pouch has a bunch of warnings printed all over it, including not to heat on high or for more than 4 minutes at a time. For our test, we're going to keep it simple with just 1 potato. Simply insert a potato into the pouch, toss it in the microwave flat side down, and cook for 4 minutes. The Potato Express claims to be a unique insulated design that creates a steam pocket to cook the potatoes, so there's no need to peel or poke holes in the potatoes. But we discovered that after only 4 minutes, the potatoes just weren't done as advertised. We realized that cooking times may vary, but most reviews said it requires an additional 2 to 4 minutes, so that claim of 4 minutes is just bogus. However, after 6 to 8 total minutes, the results weren't bad. But let's microwave a potato without the pouch for a comparison. This time, prick a potato several times on both sides with the tines of a fork, and then place it in the microwave for 8 to 10 minutes. You can stop it halfway and flip the potato over to ensure it cooks more evenly, but it's really not necessary. When the potato is soft, remove it from the microwave and cut it in half lengthwise. Now top the open sides with butter, shredded cheese, and of course bacon. For best results, return to the microwave for about a minute to melt the cheese. The results are just as good, if not better, without the pouch, and only takes a few minutes more. Although the Potato Express is readily available in stores and online for about $6 to $8, and the reviews are surprisingly good, we suggest sticking with the traditional microwave or baked oven methods and avoid cluttering your kitchen with one-off products like this. However, if you're still interested, we've linked it in the description of this video along with the rest of the items we mentioned today.
I'm gonna be brief with this one because it wasn't very impressive. It's called the Chef Basket. The premise is that you can boil up your pasta or whatever else you want with the basket inside the cooking pot, making it easier to drain out all the water when you're done cooking. It's also surrounded with metal prongs, which will stabilize it while it's in the cooking pot. It also has a couple handles which will work as legs, allowing you to prop it up while loading. And you can flatten it down for easy storage. I put some water on to boil and added some cheese tortellini right into the basket. I actually had to add more water during this process because unless you get almost to the top, the pasta wouldn't touch the water at all. So you place the basket in and boil things up as usual. When everything's done, just grab the handles, which stay cool. Drain the basket and dump your dinner right into the bowl. This really didn't seem like much more than a collapsible colander. So to make my own version, that's exactly what I went for, a standard metal colander. The only thing that you need to make sure of beforehand is that the handles on your colander will allow it to rest on top of the cooking pot while the rest is submerged in the water. Add your pasta and place it into the boiling water. This has essentially the exact effect as the Chef Basket, and you most likely already have one of these lying around your house somewhere. The main difference is with removal. The colander's handles will be hot, so you'll need to remove it using mitts or a couple towels. Let it drain right back into the pot and dump it in your bowl and add whatever sauces or spices you desire. How simple is that?
Last but not least is the Clever Cutter. It's a 2-in-1 knife and cutting board tool. It claims to chop and slice food in seconds with its razor-sharp stainless steel blades. Opening the packaging was pretty easy, so that's a good start. It comes with detailed instructions that walk you through how to use their product. There's a safety latch that locks and unlocks the blade from the mini cutting board. The spring-loaded grip handle really is ergonomic and easy to use without much practice. We tested it first with carrots, and the results were surprisingly as good as advertised in the infomercial. For best results during use, apply a firm, quick snap motion towards the end of each cut. It made chopping celery as easy as cutting through butter. The sharp blade even cut through a thick cucumber with no problem at all. Since we had such good results, we decided to also test it out on pepperoni. And while we were at it, we also cut the cheese. Any way we sliced it, the results were much the same. We wouldn't go so far as their claims to replace all kitchen knives and cutlery in one easy-to-use device, but it really was pretty useful. One of the best parts is that you can place a bowl, plate, or pot underneath and catch all the food with no added effort. On the contrary, it wasn't so easy when we tried using a pair of sharp kitchen scissors instead. The veggies turned out chunky and flew everywhere. Wouldn't recommend. With that being said, there are alternatives that are just as quick and simple. One such method requires a pizza cutter and a cutting board. Simply hold your vegetables firmly down on a cutting board and slice and dice back and forth to cut up vegetables quickly and easily. It's really that simple. This technique may not be as versatile, but it's another option and requires only utensils you likely already have, saving you around $13. Either way, both methods are productive ways to slice foods without a messy cleanup.
So it turns out that most of the silly stuff you see on TV at 3 a.m. can be made yourself with a little creativity. If you want to check out some of the stuff we used, look in the description for links to every product. Thanks for watching, and remember, for 3 easy payments of $0, you can hit that subscribe button and get our next video for free. Some rules and restrictions may apply. Shipping and handling not included when subscribing to Household Hacker. The opinions expressed in this video are certainly that of Household Hacker and its parent company, Artisanal Soaps Incorporated. All references to we, us, or me directly refer to Zorbo, the mighty lizard god that lives in the lake behind my house.